And a second example of the constraint solver getting a bad solution, that means not according to the boundary conditions for this solution. So in other words, now I will force constraint solver to solve the assembly, and the solution will be against the constraints that are currently defined in this assembly. And as you can see here, this assembly is a flat assembly, so it uses no flexible components, but still it is a case where the constraint solver gets bad solution, and design doctor shows no indication of failure in the assembly. So just a quick overview. In this assembly we have this casing, the other casing, this blue one, the central rod, bevel spring set, and the key thing is this dowel here. This, as you can see, works like that, and these two dowels here are built with a pattern. First dowel here is constrained to the axis of the hole that is in. It has a constraint to the surface, so this surface is positioned tangentially to the surface of this dowel pin, so this can, yeah, as you can see, swing around this pin, making the rod goes up and down. And it also has the constraint between its middle surface and between its end and the middle surface, so it stays in the middle. This pattern here is a circular pattern. It is done around the axis of the hole in the casing. So in case you do not believe, so it is done around this axis. I have a slightly small problems with the graphic driver, but okay. And sorry for that. View half section. And now what I will do is I will apply a simple mate constraint between this surface of the upper part of the casing and the axis of this dowel, with an offset equal half of the diameter of the dowel, so to get the same effect as for this one, so this surface tangent to the dowel. And this I am doing to get this assembly into position suitable for drawing representation or other stuff. It is not really relevant for what purpose I am doing that, but I need to constrain that to that with an offset of 5. And I will now apply the constraint. Please watch closely what will happen. As you can see, nothing has happened. So this now indicates that distance between this surface and this axis of this dowel is 5 millimeters. Obviously, I will update that. So obviously it is not 5. Design doctor shows no indication of failure. Only we have this update button here showing that we need to update the assembly, and I will click the button. Now we have a slightly changed. Now the distance between the dowel axis and the surface of the casing is correct. It is 5 millimeters, so the dowel is tangent to the surface. But in the same time, the dowel, it was misplaced from its position in the hole, and its position in the hole should be made according to the pattern that is around the axis of the middle hole. So obviously now the actual axis of the pattern is not as it is defined. So currently this you see now this is the proper position, and this is the position we have now. So obviously this solution is bad, but design doctor shows no indication of failure, and the constraint solver get this solution, and this solution was then applied to the assembly geometry, and in consequence the assembly is brought out of the position it should have according to the constraints defined. So according to the boundary conditions for the constraint solver to follow during obtaining the solution for the geometry of the assembly. So this is another example of proving that this is not working correctly. This is obviously a bug that should be removed, and you can also refer to this example. I will post another one once I encounter them, and I expect to have them because now I am paying close attention to what is happening, and I am trying solutions that I would normally avoid to avoid errors, but especially for you I am documenting it, and I will be updating you with my findings.